guys, well this is now day 14. Don't worry about the other days, they were just spent doing various things in Uppington where we were camped. And so yeah, it's going to be of any interest to you. We got a bit of tuition as far as editing was concerned. We're still having hassles uploading onto YouTube. We seem to be having difficulties there. But our day-to-day basis will go on. I'm not going to give you a daily basis if nothing is happening. So where we are now on day 14, we are actually on our way from Uppington through to the Orange River on the other side of the Okrabis. We're going to go and explore 2 tracks. We don't know where they are. There doesn't seem to be any facilities or anything telling us about it. Is there any facilities at all, and what in fact is there? So we're going to go and explore that area, and if it's really good, we're going to wild camp there for a while and just explore the area around it. So stick with us as we go about our explorations and so on. And just remember though that we're going to do it on a day-to-day basis, like today's day 14. And if anything happens in that day, we will film as much as we can for your interest's sake. But if there's something where we're sitting stagnant, there's nothing happening, I won't do anything on that day. And therefore you will hear me and see that I skip maybe 4 or 5 days, as in this case now. But don't worry about that, because they're days in which nothing has happened of any interest that you would find of any interest. So when you see that happening, don't be concerned. We haven't forgotten about you. So as this day goes on now, stick with us. Let's see what we can find. Cheers. So you can do it now. Hi. Take a look at the grass. Amazing, isn't it? Okay, now you can figure out why I've got to use a grass net. No folks, it's because there's so many of these little grasshoppers about since all this water that came about, all the rain and so on, that I've just seen a farmer down the road who said, put your grass net on. There's a stack of these little grasshoppers, which you can see already if you look down here, where they've already started splatting up again. So I just want to make sure that they don't get into the radiator. So I'll be putting on the grass net, and yeah, hooray for away.
Stacks of them around there.
Now look what we found here in the middle of nowhere at a place called Nous. Now Nous is apparently was an original little stop-off point for the original voortrekkers there in the early 1900s, and this apparently was a congregation point, or coming together, so to speak, of all these guys. And this was a little church that they built. Now here is all the info concerning it. You can see there 1905, 2005.
You can see over there. And out, which is a little dorp further down. Is 1954. Oh, taking me back a few years. And then this is the entrance itself, as we look at it at the entrance. Now continuing around, I'll show you the surrounding fence, let's say supports, etc. But going further around here, you can see, and we understand now that as you see these little places on over there, that is apparently where they used to do their lager with all the ox wagons. And we'll go up there, and that is where apparently the oxen which they took out of or off from the wagons themselves were lagered for the night. This is absolutely beautiful, fantastic history. And there's a little, I assume it's a clear kerk behind me that we've just seen, and right opposite we have a mission, it could be a Senderlings church or whatever. Absolutely fantastic. Now this is the original church, which as you can see has been beautifully restored and redone. It looks really beautiful, and I would assume that that would be the minister's little abode while he's here, and his car park. Absolutely beautifully restored. Now how cute is this? A little bell tower there to let everybody know and call them into prayer. Good grief, look at this. I wonder, and apparently this is the original bell from the days, as I understand it, before taxes. Now one of the things that intrigued me most is, how about this? These are the original, let's say, surrounding wall upright stanchions or whatever they are, of the property around the church. It's a lot of stones packed and stacked together, which has obviously had some form of barrier up to and surrounding the church. This is beautiful, man. Now this is intriguing. This I find, oh, this is magic. Now this is a place before 1905. It's where the children of Nous, in the shade of these kameeldoring or camel thorn trees, were baptized. And that is the gentleman, or the one who donated this. Isn't this beautiful? Have a look at this old camel thorn tree. Old, old, old. And yet, amongst all that dryness, you can just see life. It is still springing out green. They've had a lot of recent rains, but it just goes to show you how deep an acacia root system actually goes into the ground. For this thing, and if one looks at it, you can see it's looking pretty dry. It's very much alive. This here is the original baptismal font where it was placed and where they used to baptize the children. And apparently, according to one of the local farm residents, she explained that they still have baptisms done in this font. Obviously they would put a bath of some nature there to do the baptism. Once again, look at this beautiful camel thorn tree. Look at it, massive thing. Look at that. and it too is showing green shoots all over, all over. Look at this, look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. Unbelievable. Look at that. This is the surrounding area. And I will take you now to, as I promised, to where they unhitched the oxen from the wagons and so on. Today there are little buildings there, which apparently the local farmers are going to be doing refurbishing and so on, and using it as for tourists because apparently a lot of tourists come through here at this pretty remote area, and they want to redo these things to make it as accommodation for passing people. We'll go up there. As you can see behind me is where it is. It's up there, but we'll stop off there on the way. Sorry about that, but we'll stop off there on the way out, and I'll take pictures and show you the lapa, or the area where the oxen that would outspan were put for the night. It's really great, lovely history. That's up there, but we'll go there now. Now folks, this is the thing I was telling you about from down yonder, where the little church was and the baptismal fonts and so on. I mean, this is ancient stuff. This is going way back before the 1900s, and this is where the oxen, once they were outspanned, were brought in and left in the evening safe and sound within the lapa area. And you can see it is absolutely magnificent the way these walls have been built and put together. I mean, look at those foundation rocks there. It's unreal. Beautiful, man. And then it goes on into another section, obviously for different owners of different cattle, etc. And it comes through. There's another opening here, which would have then contained other cattle here. Now you can see there how the wall itself is either been maliciously pushed over or has collapsed just through age. But it does add a bit of authenticity to the actual walls here. I mean, I don't know, I just love this stuff. And when one sees, look at this wall, how it's starting to collapse, trying to give over onto the one side. But how magic is this? Absolutely beautiful. So, and it covers, as you can see, a large area. So there were obviously a goodly few teams of oxen that were kept here overnight, fed, watered by the old Gura and the Afrikaner as he came through. What a lot of respect I have for these people. No wonder they are as they are about their land. We could well take a damn good lesson on how to stand together. Unfortunately, in these days, those values, whoops, nearly fell on my backside there. Those values are no longer readily seen. But we won't go down that path. We'll stick to what we see here and what we're trying to portray. Thank you so much for bearing with me. It might have been a bit long drawn out or whatever, but thank you very much for bearing with me as I enjoyed my hang-ups and my things with old historical South African history, artifacts, etc. You guys take care, and we'll see you later. That is the road we'll be taking now to a place called Onsiepspan.